Hi guys and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to talk about this album right here, Bloody Kisses by Type O Negative from 1993. It's their second album after 1991's Slow, Deep and Hard. They also released a fake live album in 1992 called The Origin of the Feces, but I don't count that as a real proper album. So this is, in my opinion, their second proper studio album. It was released in August of 1993. I would describe the sound here as gothic or doom metal. And if you're interested in Type O Negative or gothic slash doom metal in general, I would say this album is a very good album for you to get into the subgenre or the band because it's quite accessible, I would say. And some of the songs, especially the well known songs, the hit songs like Black Number One or Christian Woman, are quite catchy. Um, Peter Steele, the vocalist of the band, had a thrash metal band called Carnivore in the 1980s. They released two albums in 1985 and 1987 called Carnivore and Retaliation, and broke up sometime in the late 1980s. And Type O Negative was also founded around that time, first as Repulsion, and then they changed their name. I think that was in 1989 or 1990. And in their first album, Slow, Deep and Hard, they still had a noticeable thrash metal element or hardcore element, you could also say, in their sound. This album is quite a distinct change from that sound. I would describe it as like mostly gothic and doom metal. They have actually two political songs in here. They are called "Kill All the White People" and "We Hate Everyone," and those are more thrash metal influenced, I would say. Rest of the album is more gothic or doom metal. They also have a couple of interludes during the song, and because of the interludes and also the two thrash metal song, it doesn't have like a continuous mood which stays the same. But I would say the album has certain mood shifts. Peter Steele wasn't satisfied with the end result of the album because he liked continuity, and that's why in 1993 or 1994, so only a couple of months after the original release, another version of this album was released where they cut the two political songs out and also cut out the interludes and also changed some other minor things and added one other track which was called Suspended in Dusk, which was another slower, dreary doom metal song. So there are two versions of this album originally released. My version of this album is actually from 2009. It's a deluxe version where I have the original pressing, but also bonus tracks. Uh, the track Suspended in Dusk, also Black Sabbath. It's a cover song from the band Black Sabbath. Also another version of this song called Black Sabbath from the Satanic Perspective, and some remixes of the songs. Um, yeah, also the lyrical content changed quite a lot when you compare this album to Slow, Deep and Hard. In Slow, Deep and Hard, the lyrics were quite violent, and Peter Steele was, for example, singing about bashing his girlfriend's skull with a pickaxe because she was unfaithful, and also other violent lyrics. Whereas this album is basically it's all love songs, and yeah, very heartfelt love songs, and also Peter Steele can express with his voice. He can really can express those emotions of love or lost love or stuff like that. So in my opinion, it's a great album. And yeah, let's get into the actual tracks. I will read you also some of the lyrics, and I have a booklet here. You can see here some band photos, and I can also there are also interviews with the band in here, and I can read you some of the interviews. Also here you can see a picture of Peter Steele, What else do we have here? Yeah, another great picture of him with the cross. So, of course, during that time they had like the typical goth metal image, the imagery. Here you see another picture of the two females on the cover photo and a statue of an angel. So also very goth-like, goth feeling. So let's get into the actual tracks. So the first track is called Machine Screw. It's not a proper song, but more like an intro. The second song is called Christian Woman, and it's one of their most famous songs. So it has three distinct parts. Just a moment until I find the lyrics. Yeah, it's one of their best songs in my opinion, and also one of their most well-known songs. So these are the lyrics. A cross upon her bedroom wall, from grace she will fall. An image burning in her mind and between her thighs. A dying God-man full of pain, when will you come again? Before him beg to serve or please, on your back or knees. There's no forgiveness for her sins, prefers punishment. Would you suffer eternally or internally? For her lust she'll burn in hell, her soul done medium well. All through mass manual stimulation, salvation. Body of Christ, she needs the body of Christ. She'd like to know God. Oh, love God. Feel her God inside of her, deep inside of her. Jesus Christ looks like me. It's a great track. The next one is called Black Number One, and it's also one of their trademark songs, or maybe even one of their most famous songs. And in this song, Peter Steele is making fun of the whole goth subculture and goth girls, but also at the same time kind of admiring them. Some of the lyrics. And he's also making fun of them because they dye their hair pitch black, but in reality they are, have brown hairs or blonde hairs or something like that. She's in love with herself. She likes the dark. On her milk white neck, the devil's mark. It's All Hallows Eve. The moon is full. Will she trick or treat? I bet she will. She's got a date at midnight with Nosferatu. Oh, baby Lily monster ain't got nothing on you. Well, when I called her evil, she just laughed and cast that spell on me. Boo bitchcraft. Yeah, you wanna go out 'cause it's raining and blowing. You can't go out 'cause your roots are showing. Die in black, black number one. Little wolfskin boots and cloth cigarettes, an erotic funeral for which she is dressed. Her perfume smells like burning leaves. Every day is Halloween. Loving you was like loving the dead. Also a great song, and yeah, it's not quite as slow as the other ones, and a little bit more, rocking. And yeah, also one of the best songs in my opinion. But in my opinion, there aren't any bad songs on here. The next one we have is called Favorite, Come Out and Play, and it's another interlude, followed by Kill All the White People, a political track. Um, After their first album, Typo Negative had some allegations about racism because some of their lyrics, like Der Untermensch from the first album, and this track and also the other political track called We Hate Everyone was like a response to those allegations and a big middle finger to all those who made those allegations. And their basic message was we can't be racist because we hate you all. Doesn't matter your color of your skin. And the lyrics are quite simple: kill all the white people, then we will be free. The next one is called Summer Breeze. Summer Breeze is a cover song of the 1970s band Seals and Crofts, and it's also another beautiful song. Followed by Set Me on Fire, which is a Type O Negative original song, and the lyrics are quite short and are repeated a couple of times. Summer girl, set me on fire. Summer girl, set me on fire. It's followed by another interlude called Dark Side of the Womb, where you basically just hear the sound of a baby crying. It's continued by the second political track, We Hate Everyone. And like the first one, it's a response to the various allegations they faced. So I can read you the lyrics. Right wing commies, leftist Nazis point their fingers, rumors linger. We don't care what you think. Branded sexist, labeled racist. Want it clearer? Check the mirror. We don't care what you think. Lies and slander in vain try to shame us. Riots, protests, violence just makes us famous. TV interviews, free publicity, increased record sales dramatically. The left, they say I'm a fascist. The right, they calling me communist. Hate, 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 hatred for all, one and all. No matter what you believe, don't believe in you, and that's true. Some would say that we're biased, accusations that we are racist. Well, shit comes in all hues, now this means you, because things ain't always like they seem. We hate everyone, we don't care what you think. The next song is called Bloody Kisses, A Death in the Family. And in my opinion, this song is the most epic song on the whole album. And I would say, if I had to pick one, probably this would be my favorite one. But for example, Christian Woman, Black Number One, and a couple of others are also very, very good. But I would say this is my favorite. It's a very long track, about 10 minutes or something, and it's really good. I can read you some of the lyrics. Not long ago, but far away, a rainy winter's day. All her pain she kept inside, could no longer hide. No cry for help, she killed herself. Both life and love could not be saved. She took them both to the grave. A pair of souls become undone, where were two, now one. Divided by this wall of death, soon I soon will join you yet. With my blood I'll find your love. You found the strength to end your life. As you did, so shall I. Oh no, please don't go. It's like a death in the family. A crimson pool, so warm and deep, lulls me to an endless sleep. Your hand in mine, I will be brave. Take me from this earth, an endless night, this the end of life. From the dark, I feel your lips and I taste your bloody kiss. Oh no, please don't go. It's like a death in the family. Don't die on me, don't die on me, and repeat it a couple of times. But actually, it seems like it's a song about the suicide of a lover, and the other lover also wants to commit suicide to join the lover again. But actually, it's about the death of Peter Steele's cat. You wouldn't guess that when you read those lyrics. I can also read you some of the interviews later on where he mentioned that. It's followed by another interlude, and then the next song is called Too Late Frozen, which is a typical typo negative song, I would say. Also a love song, of course. It's a song about, I think, unfaithfulness, and yeah, I can read you some of the lyrics again. So you come to say you're very sorry, it won't happen again, forgive me. Time will not heal these wounds, and I'm bleeding because of you. Was everything we had just a joke? I've run out of patience, tears, and hope. Love does not conquer all, and I'm screaming because of you. Too late for apologies. Yeah. And the next song is called Blood and Fire. And of course, it's another love song. What else? Um, I think Peter Steele was the only guy in the band who actually liked to play this song and liked the song in general, because the other band members found this song kind of cringe because it was too cringy and too much 1980s in their opinion. But for me, it's still a great song. Not quite as good as like Bloody Kisses, Christian Woman, and Black Number One and the other ones, but still a good track. And the last song on here is called Can't Lose You. The lyrics are just I can't lose you, I can't lose you, no, I can't lose you. Repeated a couple of times. This song is very psychedelic influenced. So the psychedelic sounds of the late 1960s, for example, so late era Beatles, and also some other bands and singers from the late 1960s and 70s. So those were the tracks of the original album. We also have the lyrics here for Suspended in Dusk, which was the track which was released on the second edition of this album. And it's about immortal vampire who has to, hunt for his victims to stay alive. Damn me, Father, for I must sin. This track is a very long track, also similar to Bloody Kisses, A Death in the Family. So a very long and dreary track. 4 centuries of this damned immortality. Yet I did not ask to be made. Why? I will never again feel your sun upon my face, or the comfort of a grave. I am not alive and I am not dead. This is hell on earth. How can I possibly explain this eternal youth when I can do nothing but sit by as my loves grow older and wither, and with each of them take a fragment of my heart and prolong this endless winter? It is October's perpetual agony. It is the shadow realm. Father, please forgive him, for he knows not what to do. Okay, those are parts of the lyrics. So, and now I can read you some of the, in the booklet, there's a lot of interviews in here. I can read you some excerpts. But first I will turn on the light. Because it's late afternoon here in my neck of the woods. And it's getting a little bit darker, so I think this lighting is better. So, let's see what we have here. So, the songs on Bloody Kisses have more of a pop sensibility than those on Slow, Deep and Hard. And Peter is doing more singing. What precipitated the shift? Steele said most of the songs on Slow, Deep and Hard were leftover carnivore songs. But with Bloody Kisses, I wanted more of a challenge. I mean, I love hardcore, but hardcore and rap are very similar. They take almost no fucking talent. During the 80s, I'd go to CB's and Lamour with my long hair Motorhead friends, and I could never admit that I really liked Duran Duran, Flock of Seagulls, Psychedelic Furs, and shit like that. At 30 years old, I became a different person, so I just decided to do whatever I wanted to do. I felt it was more of a challenge to write songs and sing on key. Josh Silva said, I see what you mean when you say pop sensibility, but I think it was just a more melodic record. I think pieces of that melody did exist on Slow, Deep and Hard. Like on I Know You're Fucking Someone Else, unsuccessfully coping with the natural beauty of infidelity. So I think it was a natural thing. Our backgrounds are based in the Beatles and Black Sabbath. We've all heard that said about typo 10,000 times, but that's because it's true. We're taking the heaviness of Sabbath and the melody of the Beatles, and that's kind of what Bloody Kisses was. We didn't have to live up to Slow, Deep and Hard because as far as anyone was concerned, that record was a disaster. It was like, if you don't do better, you're done. Another question we have here. What's the story behind Christian Woman? And Peter Steele said, I think what came about with that song is that I was incorporated with this girl. She was a Roman Catholic, much as I am, but she would get off on breaking the rules a little bit. She would ask me to dress up as a priest, and well, I guess you can just imagine what would happen after that. So I guess you could say I have a bit of a priest infection. But the song itself, I had always loved 80s rock. I always like to refer to Type of Negative as a flock of assholes, but we have somewhat better haircuts. He's referring to the band Flock of Seagulls. Black Number One, Little Miss Scareall, was a masterpiece of sarcasm in that it seemed to be paying tribute to and making fun of goth girls at the same time. Steele said, I wrote it while I was driving a fucking garbage truck. I was waiting online for 3 hours to dump 40 cubic yards of human waste at the Hamilton Avenue Marine Transfer Station, and I wrote the song in my head. I'm not kidding you. And it's about the girl I fucking slashed my wrists over. She was the ultimate goth girl, and I was poking fun of her because she was in love with herself. I actually lost the original lyrics to that song, so I had to rewrite them. Sal Abuscato, I think he was the drummer, yeah, the drummer of the band, said, all those lyrics were totally derived from hanging out in the Pyramid Lounge and the Limelight, looking at these girls all done up in black with the mascara and the clothes. All those things he's talking about is all the shit you would see at these clubs. And at the same time, he was infatuated with dating these kinds of girls. I'm not sure how much he was making fun of them, though. I think it was more admiration of their beauty. So, yeah, Black Number One comes from that. Christian Woman comes from that. It's not some big crazy secret. We all thought those chicks were hot. Hickey said one of Pete's girlfriend was this goth girl who made him feel really insecure because she was like, oh, you just listen to that stupid heavy metal stuff. You don't know what's cool. You don't know about Bauhaus and Cocteau Twins. She dyed her hair. She was a goth chick, and he hated her for it. Black Number One is about her. The lyrics are brilliant, and the hook is beautiful in its simplicity. Silver said, the brilliant part is that goth kids still take it totally seriously. But the people who get the sarcasm also like it. So it worked out pretty well, I guess. Being sarcastic has its rewards. But I'm so sick of that song, it's not even funny. If I never played that song again for the rest of my life, I would be happy. I think it's a good tune, but I thought Smoke on the Water was a good tune too. I just don't need to hear it again. Steele said, the thing is, I was never a big fan of the whole goth scene. I like how goth girls look too. I wasn't even trying to make fun of the whole goth scene either. I was just pissed off at what happened between me and this girl who I was with. I was seeking my revenge through those four notes. When it became a hit, I was like, what is wrong with people? But it didn't really mean anything to me. I went to work the next day. So, what else do we have? Who is Bloody Kisses, a death in the family about? It's about, like I mentioned already, about his cat. That was actually about my cat Venus that died. I had this cat for 17 or 18 years. No one wants to hear about a guy who's 6'8" with long black hair and fangs crying about his cat, so I had to make it extremely metaphoric. I have a huge problem with abandonment and loss, so I took it very seriously. I love animals. She used to sit on my chest while I was doing bench presses. When I was burying this cat in the backyard, a family member made a very brutal and disgusting comment about what I was doing. I mean, it wasn't even her backyard. But she had something to say about me digging this plot. She made this comment, and I turned around with the shovel, and I was a nanosecond away from throwing it at her. Now, I used to sharpen my shovel and practice throwing it at things on my lunch hour when I worked at the parks department, and I was extremely fucking accurate. I was in great pain at the time she said what she said, and I told her, you really should walk away right now. Blood might be thicker than water, but it's also harder to clean up. So, and the next question is Too Late Frozen about the same girl from you're referring to in Unsuccessfully Coping from Slow, Deep, and Hard? Yeah, Steele said, yeah, I was with this woman for 10 years and I found out she was cheating on me. But I was a pussy and I didn't have the strength to break up with her. When I confronted her about what I had found out, she just lied about everything. So I finally left her because it was the easy way out. And it did not end well at all. The next question. Alongside all those slower and mid-paced goth epics, you've got two fast hardcore type songs in We Hate Everyone and Kill All the White People. But those songs actually served a very specific purposes, didn't they? Silver said, We Hate Everyone was a response to what happened with Der Untermensch from Slow, Deep and Hard. The press in Europe didn't get it. They thought we were Nazis. So we were like, if you hate humanity, how can you be racist? Steele said it wasn't meant to be retaliatory, though. The Untermensch was about when I was working for the Parks Department. This white guy working in black neighborhoods and having bottles thrown at me and being screamed at like, fuck you, Tarzan. Meanwhile, the guys yelling at me were selling drugs to little kids. So yeah, the song was provocative and it was supposed to be. I was baiting the hook, just like when Carnivore did songs like Jesus Hitler, God is Dead, and Suck My Dick. If you're gonna preach to the choir, it ain't rock. All those groups that are like, fuck the police, fuck your parents, fuck the church, I'm not like that. I'm pro police, I'm pro parent, I'm pro rules. This is what makes Typo Negative a real fucking rock band. We don't go along with what everybody else believes. At the same time, we had so many problems with our first tour in Europe, especially in Germany because of their Untermensch. There were posters with my fucking face on lampposts and trees that were like, kill this guy. I have to admit, I was ignorant. You can't go around saying stupid shit in Europe. World Wars One and Two did not occur in Brooklyn, New York. I made a mistake and I apologize. Abruscato had this to say: "Kill all the white people" came from the frustration of the Dinkins era. He was a mayor of New York during that time. Waste of life, the Untermensch, was derived from that as well. The frustration with the political situation and racial tensions that was going on in New York City when Mayor Dinkins was in charge. Kill all the white people was a sarcastic take on African American feelings about the white devil. It was very humorous to us at the time. Silver said Kill All the White People was a media experiment. It's like if you hate yourself, then who do you yell at? I mean, I'm not a completely inept jackass. I understand why it's okay for black people to use racial slurs about themselves, but it isn't okay for white people. But at the same time, there's a double standard here. And the world has become so stupid that they don't understand things like Jewish humor, self deprecating humor. Those old Jewish comedians didn't just make black jokes, they joked about everyone, including themselves. But now you can't do that. You'll get sued, the NAACP will get involved. It's ridiculous. We're supposed to have attained this enlightenment, but the truth is that it's gone completely in reverse. Instead, we have complete suppression of everything that's real and honest. And it seems that suppression is now equal to acceptance. Kill All the White People was making fun of that whole thing, but that was also just the beginning of the whole era. You could still be kind of raunchy in the early 90s and get away with it. Now, if you're not Nickelback, you're not gonna see radio play. And this was from 2009. So, what else do we have here? Yeah, a couple of more questions. This interview. I'm skipping some of the questions, so you just get like a rough overview. I don't want to make this video for too long. The interludes and the hardcore songs were cut from the Digipack release of Bloody Kisses, and Suspended in Dusk was added in their place. Why? Steele said, I actually kind of ordered that because I felt that most of the tracks were slow and dreary, but there were a couple of faster ones that I thought broke up the whole vibe. So we got rid of those and put in Suspended in Dusk to make up for taking out the two faster tracks. That was a song that was left off the original album, but we actually redid it for the Digipack. And you know, I like the Digipack version better, but I don't feel comfortable ripping off the public by putting out the product a second time. I don't think that's fair, but it was nice to have an opportunity to repair what I felt was a musical mistake. Silver said, I think the Digipack sucks. Part of Typo to me is the eclectic insanity. Going from a song like Black Number One to Kill All the White People is the whole thing, and it's such an accident that even Peter doesn't get it half of the time. Which is fine, he doesn't have to get it, he just has to do it. But he wanted continuity, so they put out the Digipack. It's been said that the song Blood and Fire wasn't well liked within the band. I think I mentioned it already before. Hickey said that fucking song is horrible and it's even worse live. There's always some fat goth girl who is like, why didn't you play Blood and Fire? I hate it. Peter probably loves that song. Abruscato said, Peter was the only one who liked it. I remember all three of us cringing when we had to play that song. We'd look at each other like, oh, so gay. It was an okay song, but it sounded more like filler to me. It was a little too 80s. It felt like we were doing something that was trapped in another era. But Peter had a big thing for it, so I gave it all. So I gave it my all nonetheless. Do you have a favorite song from Bloody Kisses? Steele said it's a very logical and reasonable question, but it's like asking me picking my favorite kid. Silver said, I hate to choose favorites, but I know you're gonna make me. I like Death in the Family. Even though it's not up there on the popular list like Christian Woman or Black Number One, it has that honest feeling to it. It's the combination of the melody and the lyrics that make it a masterpiece to me. I go for the honest themes because you do them better. There's no better motivation for art than honesty. Hickey said, Hickey said, I would say Christian Woman, even though it's the hit and it's the most obvious one. But to this day, I love playing it on stage. It's the quintessential typo negative song. And Abruscato said, Too Late Frozen, probably. I'm a big fan of the psychedelic sound that song had. But overall, I like the whole album with the exception of Blood and Fire. That's at the bottom of the list. So some of the guys really hated that song. Who came up with the concept of the album cover? This is the album cover again. So those two females, I suppose that was my idea. I'm not really sure how it came about, but there's nothing better than having two flowers in one place at one time, so that's what we did. I still complain that the color is off though. It should be PMS 360. Silver said, the album cover tortures me to this day. Let's put it this way. If you want to have two gothic girls on the cover, never leave it to a guy who has blonde hair and is from Atlanta, which is what the photographer was. Those girls are so ungothic, it's not even funny. But that kinda makes it typo, I guess. I think Peter had a darker idea in mind, but he likes lesbians, so it's okay. What about the slogans on the back? Don't mistake lack of talent for genius. You can see it here. You can see it here at the bottom under the band picture. And Silver said, Pete had a knack for slogans, and that was a big part of the self deprecating nature of typo. You know, we never had expectations of success in any form, and really, we were only moderately successful. But the way I feel we did succeed is that I think we influenced a part of music that not every band gets for self awareness. That was our success. Not selling a million records, was Peter's way of saying, hey, we just made this dopey album. You might think that it's a work of genius, but guess what? It isn't. Steele said, exactly. When we do it, what we do is not brilliance. It's moronic. We're just four dickheads from Brooklyn. That's it. I can't believe that this band has been together for almost 20 fucking years. In 2009. This interview is from 2009. So, and another question. But then you open up the CD booklet and you see another statement. This entire opus is respectfully dedicated to all those who have loved unconditionally, only to have their hearts unesthetically ripped out. Base not your joy upon the deeds of others, for what is given can be taken away. No hope equals no fear. Peter. That seems like an earnest statement. It doesn't seem like he's fucking around. Abruscato said, no, you know he's not. Those records contain all sides of emotions from anger to love, and I think that's what was appealing to people. People could relate to those messages too. In this case, the guy who's pissed off at a girlfriend who cheated on him. And Silver said, yeah, I think that's a heartfelt statement. Like I said, I think most of us spend a lot of time coping with those kind of relationships and the pain that they bring. And Peter is certainly far from being the exception. In fact, he probably takes things harder than most people. In retrospect, is there anything you'd change about Bloody Kisses? Hickey said, no way. I mean, I'm a better guitar player now, but the band will always be known for Bloody Kisses. That's the platinum album I have on my wall. Silver said, there are things I regret, but I'd never go back and change a body of work because I don't want to live in the past. I mean, when we do a record, I'm there for every part of the process. The rehearsals, the recording, the mixing. So by the time we finish, I'm just fucking sick of it and I get away from it as quickly as possible. A finished work, for better or worse, is finished. Put it away and do another one. Don't harp on what could have been. The sum of your artistic career is your cumulative experience. Do you think Van Gogh sat there and went, "Those fucking sunflowers should have been more yellow"? I hope not. Steele said we had no idea what the fuck we were doing when we did that album, and I believe that's apparent. Everything I've done with this band, I'd like to remix or redo slightly, but it's like Paul McCartney said, let it be. But I don't like the color. It should have been PMS for 360 green. Abruscato said, the only thing I would change is that probably would have been stuck around longer after it came out, because he left the band and was replaced by John Kelly. But once in a blue moon, I'll put on that record and it blow me away. There's moments on Bloody Kisses that I don't think even Type O Negative themselves could reproduce. It was a total classic instantly, and I don't think anybody could pull off what we pulled off on that record. For me, that record was the pinnacle of Peter's writing. I've heard all the records and they're all good, but I just think that record stands a cut above the rest. I've got the plaque hanging on my wall, and that's something I'm proud to show people. So I wouldn't change a single thing about it. So, I also think this album is great, and I can definitely, again, recommend it to you guys if you're interested in Type O Negative or in Gothic or Doom Metal in general. Check out this album. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, like, comment, and share this video around. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in my content. More videos coming soon. You can also write on the comments down below some ideas for topics that you want to see next. See you soon and goodbye.